There were two stories over the last few days that I've been wanting to talk about, and seeing it's kind of a slow news period going into the new year, I thought it would be fine to sort of tell you about two stories. One is about Unreal Engine 5 being used at Xbox, and one is about a Cyberpunk 2077 rumor that got shot down in flames. Let's go over both of them right now. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you do like my videos, please consider hitting subscribe, hitting that bell to know when these videos go live. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers in 2022. We got really close in 2021, but let's get across that finish line. So the first story was interesting. I originally saw it on Xbox Era, but then I saw one that was fleshed out a little bit more. Basically, Undead Labs might be building an Unreal Engine 5 animation studio in Orlando, Florida. This is from Xbox Era, where I originally saw it. And largely, it's because of the LinkedIn page of Simon Schur, the technical animation consultant for the Unreal Engine 5 experience. It says The Matrix Awakens is working on developing a new studio for Undead Labs in Orlando, Florida. This studio is supposedly working on animation technology for Unreal Engine 5 for Undead Labs and other Microsoft studios. On his page, it reads, developing a new Microsoft studio under Undead Labs in Orlando, Florida, directing animation and animation technology in Unreal Engine 5 for Microsoft XGS Undead Labs, stated to K3, and fostering cross-studio animation technology, collaboration, and animation technology initiatives across XGS. So it does sound like stated to K3 will be utilizing Unreal Engine 5. We haven't actually seen anything about that game aside from some CG trailers, and I'll be interested to see what this ends up becoming. Now, WCCF Tech seemed to have a little bit more details about this, and this article was posted today. Basically, new Undead Labs team to focus on cross-studio animation technology for Xbox Game Studio. So this is a little bit bigger than just about Undead Labs. This is about utilizing that technology across multiple divisions at Microsoft. So this is from Simon Schur, who had consulted on, the stuff that was discussed, and then again discovered on Twitter. And basically the difference in this article is that it says that sounds great for State of Decay 3, something I agree on, and that it does seem like this will be corrected in the third installment, which will be the first developed after Microsoft's acquisition of the studio headquarters in Seattle, Washington, when that happened in 2018. Head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty, said the deal would allow the developer to realize its original plan of a much bigger, much more persistent online game. So it's going to be interesting to see. Still, even if you're not a fan of Undead Labs and State of Decay, the focus on cross-studio animation work across the entirety of Xbox Game Studios mean you are likely to see new technology pop up in first-party Xbox titles. Now, another person who worked on that title was Colin Penty, who works for the Coalition, and he has worked on many Gears of War titles, and he is probably associated with whatever the new Coalition project is. Gears of War has sort of been the tentpole for these developments, where it really manages to push Unreal Engine 4 and the earlier Unreal Engines to their limit. Of course, I believe they were previously associated with Epic, I want to say. Cliff Bleszinski, Epic Games. That sounds right off the top of my head. But yeah, so the fact that they utilize Unreal is truly interesting. No, that's wrong. Yeah, Epic owns Unreal. Oh my God, I feel so dumb. Who owns Epic? Sorry for this part. Epic Games. Yeah, okay, I'm not crazy. Sorry, I was just like, I'm not crazy, right? Epic owns it. I'm a little tired, so yeah. Excuses, Gary. So that's that. That sounds great. So imagine more games with the level of animation and interaction between characters that we've seen in Gears of War 5. That would just be great, in my opinion. The other story I sort of wanted to talk a bit about today was this Cyberpunk 2077 rumor that was shot down in flames and why it actually got me excited. So basically, Cyberpunk 2077 had this big Reddit rumor that was shot down pretty hard not that long ago. I was late to the party, found out about it today. But basically, AJ reposted this Reddit thread from Gaming Leaks and Rumors. It's been proven false, by the way. But I want to talk about why this had me excited. Some guy says he's got inside info about the game's progress. So the next patch is going to be a soft relaunch of the game. Game will be renamed Cyberpunk 2077 Samurai Edition. CDPR will also do a big live stream around February to reveal the patch in Cyberpunk Anime and the first expansion. New patch features barbershops, a garage, improved AI, transmog system, a complete rebalancing of the loot system, new UI. The promised free DLC will be bundled in, which includes 4 new weapons, new game plus, apartment customization, new gigs, tons of small stuff like Judy and Pan Am sending you more texts during the course of the game. First expansion takes place in Pacifica, which is actually quite huge. You walk around and do quests in what is called the Combat Zone. The Combat Zone is being fought over by 2 new games, the Bozos. This is the one where I was like, I don't know about it. But anyway, violent clown psychopaths with a sick sense of humor, and a gang called Slaughterhouse Violent Psychopath Fascists. I don't remember the Bozos or Slaughterhouse from the pen and paper game, but maybe I'm just forgetting. Walking around the combat zones feels very inspired by the game Stalker. Cyberpunk will get its own Gwent-like minigame. It involves going to cyberspace and controlling and collecting monsters, which you can send to JRPG-like battles. Also has multiplayer. One of the monsters looks like the Reaper. Another one I saw looks like an Oni. The Cyberpunk anime called Cyberpunk 2077 Edge Runners is made by Studio Trigger with writing and story made by CDPR themselves. It looks absolutely insane. Beautiful 2D animation that reminds me of Akira. Another expansion is in early stages of planning, but will only be released if the first expansion is a success. This is all not true. It was said by CDPR that this is not true, this isn't happening, and was shot down in flames. But here's why it got me excited. If you played Cyberpunk on PC, it was a pretty good game, actually. Sure, you have to treat it more like a Fallout game and recognize that games are going to have bugs and problems, but it did not have, at least in my experience, it did not have anywhere near the amount of problems that the console versions of the game had. So when I see something like this and I read these features and I get excited about this thing that has been proven false, the reason I wanted to talk about it today is because this seems possible. All of these little things, all of these little changes within the game engine of Cyberpunk 2077 being implemented alongside some sort of separate anime project where they would, further flesh out the story of Cyberpunk 2077 sounds plausible. It sounds like it could actually come to fruition. And you know what? This is the first time in a long time that I've actually been excited about anything Cyberpunk 2077 because I realize that, hey, I do think that there is the potential for them to release this DLC whenever it comes out and get back some of that positive nature that they earned with the PC crowd largely. I say that because, yes, they deserve to be held accountable for what they said, but they still had a game that I quite enjoyed on PC. So the fact that there is a possibility that something like this could happen makes me very, very happy. And seeing the goodwill as the game went on sale on Black Friday, and everybody has every right to be mad about what happened with the terms of release. But if you actually played through that game, I think most of us who did, played through it in its entirety, actually quite enjoyed the story and figuring out the ups and downs of the game. It's hard to hold that part against it when there was some pretty cool stuff in there. I love, the initial character. I love building the relationships. I liked actually seeing how everything unfolded. I actually got all of the endings in the game. And I absolutely abused the map system, of course, to get as much infinite money as I possibly could. But yeah, that's besides the point. I do hope that Cyberpunk does get a chance to correct what has gone wrong with it, or at least not just die out. It is such a rich world full with so many potential stories and just great opportunities to take us on a journey through Night City with maybe not with Keanu Reeves. They'll have to probably write around that because he likely won't be involved with it anymore. But I don't want to see it. I don't want to see another fleshed out universe just disappear, especially one written by Mike Pondsmith. He helped out with all of this storytelling, and there were a lot of loose ends that I still want to see more about in that world. Anyway, let me know what you think about the possibility of Cyberpunk DLC coming along and giving you an excuse to go back. I think that the things described here actually seem quite plausible. A new area where you can fight new enemy types, and a card game, more side missions, just things to do in the open world. I would love that. Let me know what you think, though. And while I have you, thank you so much for watching. If you like my videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Look at that. The animation's working today. Hitting that bell. I do appreciate every one of you who have subscribed. If you want to become a member, memberships are turned on. Hey, members, thanks for sticking around. I do appreciate you. Finally caught up on the comments this week. If you want to become a member, you can click that join button, support this channel if you would like to. I'm going to get out of here, go to bed. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you for the next episode.